Philippine life as an expat. Come along if you have a few minutes and tell you a little bit about daily life here. And yeah, I'm taking a hobble hobble, a motorbike taxi from uptown Cebu City uh, over to Ayala Mall in Cebu City, and a little bit busy time of the day, going over to meet a friend for coffee. And one thing, I've watched here over the months, I've watched videos from other countries, Thailand, which is popular, Vietnam, Cambodia, other countries, and they all mention one thing. They all mention the downside is that with the cultural difference, with the language differences, the nice thing about the Philippines is that many do speak English, and but other countries is that you can become lonely very quickly unless you establish some kind of a expat community. And like Vietnam, there's Da Nang and other places that have a little bit of an expat foreigner community. And I always get comments. The last thing I want to do is get involved with other foreigners. There's a lot of different types of foreigners, and I've met a lot of really great, interesting foreigners here from many different countries. Got the girly bars here, the what they call bikini bars. I'll do another video about those one day. And but anyway, yeah, I was here about a year and a half before I started thinking, geez, I don't have I don't have any foreign friends, and I kind of miss another bikini bar. I kind of miss the camaraderie, being able to discuss somebody a common language, common background, historical reference, all that type of thing. So anyway, yeah, I'm going over to meet somebody for coffee or some beers. I forget which Howling Dog Bar there on the corner. I forget which trip this was. I think I met a couple of friends, and this particular day, it's not unusual to. There's a number of coffee shops in the mall and around different strip malls, different parts of the different towns and cities where you can go, and there are even groups of foreigners that will meet on a regular basis, different places, if you want to get involved in that type of thing. There are bowling clubs, foreigner bowling clubs, walking, jogging clubs. Not a lot of tennis courts here in the Philippines, but there are some. There are more in some of the newer resorts, and you can get involved in that type of thing. Billiards is really popular here. So yeah, there are things like that to do. Anyway, once or twice a week, I make it over to the mall. One of the malls. There's a couple very close to me. That I go to, and if I go to the mall to get something, I will also stop and have a coffee, and oftentimes meet up with somebody during that coffee. But anyway, yeah, you got to take care of the same things you would take care of back in your home country. But here, Cebu City is a small, big city, and very easy to get around. This is kind of rush hour traffic. I think it's like 4:30 in the afternoon, and so you can see the traffic starts rush hour a little right around 3 o'clock. Years ago, it used to be a little bit later, but so many cars. They've had a deal here for many years. 1 peso down. A Filipino told me the other day, yeah, they still offer that. 1 peso down, you prove that you have a job, you can buy a car. Now I think you're supposed to prove that you have a place to park it, because that was a big issue, still is, with so many narrow streets and the people living on the narrow streets and parking the car on their narrow street, making it very difficult for people to get by. Now, while I'm doing this video, this trip was a couple days ago, but It's Sunday. My girlfriend has off work today. It's a day once a month. We usually cook up a big, like a beef stew, but it's more than a beef stew. It has a lot more vegetables. It's got beef and or pork. Um, Lots of vegetables. The answer would be more, what doesn't it have? Got squash and potato, sweet potato, carrots, and just a bunch of other stuff we put in it. So should be very healthy. A bit of a squeeze here. Don't want to get squeezed. Watch your knees. We did get through there. This was, I think I paid him, he quoted me 70 pesos. You know, my girlfriend gets on like one of these apps, ride sharing apps, Maxim. And she usually pays between 45 and 50 pesos for this trip. And he quoted me 70. I said, fine, that'll work. And in fact, I told him, I said, my girlfriend pays about 50, I'll pay you 70. And he was happy with that. Now, my average day, because I'm a vlogger, is a YouTuber, is a bit different than the average day for a lot of expats and Filipinos. But geez, it seems anymore that almost everybody is a YouTuber. Everybody wants to be or is a YouTuber. I was approached at a coffee shop last week, a couple of girls. Can we interview you? We're trying to, Filipinos, we're focusing on interviewing foreigners. And I said, well, yeah. I said, I should have interviewed them. I should have turned around and interviewed them, but I didn't.
Whatever's best for you.
And yeah, some of these drivers, I'm more familiar than the roads than they are. This guy was going to go straight and take me up around the long way. And I told him, no, you can go down here. You know, we agreed on a price. I don't care if you take the long way or the short way. We are entering Cebu Business District, a kind of like a city within a city. You got the big Ayala Mall, several condominiums, big commercial buildings, banks. A lot going on right here. Better streets and sidewalks. You see a lot of people jogging in this area later in the afternoon and early morning. IT Park is similar to that. You've got business parks in virtually all the bigger towns and cities. Iloilo City, Bacolod. You got areas that are more modern, cleaner areas. Park Point condominium, right there attached to Ayala Mall, right there in front of us. Very nice, larger. I've done videos in there. Check out my other videos. I've done videos, alcoves off to the left, and then way to the left is the Solanea condominiums. I think they've got 5 towers that are occupied there. And they allow pets. I've had a friend that stayed in there. Guy had a yipping dog right next to him, had the door open, would run up and down the hallway, probably pee and poop in the hallway, so we didn't have to take him for a walk. But yeah, that's Ayala Mall just to the left. Big new tall Sofitel, part hotel, commercial building. Going up there, you got Seda Hotel right to the left. You've got Holiday Inn off to the right. Number of hotels in this area. Seda is owned by Ayala. A taxi ride over here from where I left from would be about 110. They raised the starting rate from 40 pesos to 50 pesos. Hadn't been raised in many years. And so yeah, it used to be 75, 85 pesos. Now it's about 100, depends on traffic and which route they take. But yeah, it's a little bit less, a little riskier taking one of these motorbike taxis. Some are much safer than others. Straight ahead, you've got, difficult to see from here. Straight ahead you have the Taft Eastgate condominiums. I've done videos there. And check out my condo videos. See what they look like, what they cost, what what they rent for. I've got a playlist for condos. And yeah, this whole area is Cebu Business Park. Many of these drivers have like this guy had a second full-time job. He did this when he would get off of that job, and he would do this to make a little bit extra money. And I've asked some of these guys, how long do you do this? How many hours? Until I have enough money to buy food for my family for the day, for the evening. And so that is life here for many in the Philippines. One advice I give to everybody is stay busy. If you're retired, you're living in the province, in the town, in a city, whatever, stay busy doing something when you retire, because one of the downfalls of retired people is that they don't stay busy. They lose purpose in life, and they just kind of turn into vegetables sitting in front of the television watching whatever. Anyway, this is the end of this video. Thanks for coming along. Safe travels, and we'll see you in the next video.